Hello friends, welcome to ELS English Literature Studies with Kaur Harpreet. Today we will discuss post-war literature. Firstly, let me thank my subscribers for giving so much love to my previous video, and also let me thank my lovely subscribers for their comments on my videos. Thanks a lot friends for your likes and comments, that is positive comments on my videos, like ग्रैंड स्टाइल ऑफ जॉन मिल्टन जो आपने बहुत लाइक की है, बहुत पसंद किया और उस पर बहुत आपकी लाइक्स हैं. देन नॉवल इन 18th सेंचुरी एंड फ्रेंच रेवोल्यूशन, और ऐसी बहुत सारी वीडियोस है जिस पे आपने मुझे भरपूर प्यार दिया है. एंड जिन्होंने नहीं देखी हैं, आई विल गिव देम लिंक फॉर देम इन द डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स. और मेरे वो प्यारे प्यारे फ्रेंड्स, प्यारे प्यारे सब्सक्राइबर्स जो कंटेंट तो पढ़ते हैं, समझते भी हैं, बट आई थिंक कि सब्सक्राइब करना भूल जाते हैं. इफ़ यू लाइक माई कंटेंट, प्लीज़ डू कंसिडर सब्सक्राइबिंग माई चैनल and also share my notes, and if you like it, please subscribe it. So let's get started with today's topic, that is about post-war literature. Friends, 20th century literature is dominated by war with common themes of alienation, isolation and fragmentation. The century opened with the Boer War, continued through World War I, World War II and many other wars like this. Now, what was the impact of these wars? The impact was destruction and only destruction, right? Whole towns were destroyed, families were uprooted, and as a result, most of the 20th century fiction, poetry and short stories, especially when we talk about British literature that are produced, have the common theme of loneliness. Much of the writing is marked by deep psychological trauma, right? 20th century British literature is highly influenced by Victorian literature in the 19th century. Victorian literature that brought Gothic elements, romance, social justice and supernatural themes with it. Friends, another impact, either social or historical, in English literature is the change in England's role in the world. During the late 19th and early 20th century, England was the dominating world power with its strong sense of imperialism and with its establishment of colonies and political influence all across the world. After the First and even more so after the Second World War, England's global reach weakened, and this change in the worldview changes the literature. Now there are labor organizations rising in power, then women are asserting their equal rights. There is much more attention to social legislation and welfare concerns, and the country moves towards its more modern socialistic states. These are the 4 points that also influence the literature in this period, right? Friends, these concerns become, we can say, these concerns were the main concerns which were necessary for the themes of the literature. Many writers started drawing attention of the readers to materialistic aspect of life, to work, to the expectations brought about by social reformists and political change, and to the shift in relationships often seen in general, right? Then gender condition terms also discussed due as a result of these wars. In the fiction of the post-war years, there are no easily identifiable lines of development. In the late 1940s and early 1950s, the readers, the public, they looked for comfort, they looked for reassurance in literature. They were not interested in new style and new genre. They want comfort and reassurance in literature, right? However, by 1955, the old values and certainties which religion and nation had traditionally provided, these were being questioned, and new generation of critical young novelists, playwrights and artists emerged, right? The 1950s were characterized by the appearance of neorealism, a trend which worked against modernism. The Second World War left its deep impact on civilization, and the post World War II era was essentially characterized by depression and anxiety as the post-war reforms failed to meet aspirations for genuine change. And this feature is evident in the literature of the 20th century. These adverse impacts of World War II helped to create several new traditions in literature, and one such movement made its way in the early 1950s, and this radical change was given the label of the angry young men movement, right? These angry young men comprised a group of English novelists and playwrights, mostly having lower middle or working class and with a university background. Now, friends, question arises, now what was the purpose of this movement? Actually, their literature chiefly represented a rebellious and critical attitude towards the post-war British society. This group attacked outmoded social values, as I already told that there was a genuine change. They worked against the nations no, that work against the values and values which are imposed by religion and nation had traditionally provided. These things were questioned by these angry young men, right? And their literature was of rebellious type and critical attitude. They had critical attitude towards the post-war British society, and this group attacked outmoded social values. They shared impatience with tradition, with authority, with the tradition, and with the ruling class. Their works reflect their anger and frustration. The protagonists of these novels are outsiders. They do not identify with modern society. They feel resentful, powerless, and sometimes they are also violent. Like the authors themselves are impatient, dissatisfied, and critical of conventional morality and behavior, right? Friends, the creation of such heroes is a departure from literary conventions, but it is the introduction of honesty and openness into literature. On other hand, other novelists were interested in religious and metaphysical problems. The best example I would like to mention here is William Golding, who created a moral fable of the human condition. Right, that is the Lord of the Flies. And if you want to know more about Lord of the Flies, if you want content, you can check my video Lord of the Flies by William Golding, right? During the 1960, the resentment and the frustration of the 1950s, it began to develop into a counterculture movement. Issues of personal morality in challenging and liberated times are frequently expressed in stories. At the same time, some highly praised authors they received critical recognition as major writers, right? Next, friends, I would like to discuss here women's writing during this age. An important development in the post-war period is the rise of the feminist literature. A new consciousness opens up new directions for women's writing. Women's writing is based on the notion that the experience of women is totally different from men, and this group is worthy of separate study, right? And on that basis, their texts were very different from writings produced by men. Women's writing is recognized by the number of dedicated journals, organizations, awards, conferences, which focused exclusively on texts which are produced by women. Virginia Woolf's Room of One's Own exemplifies the impulse in the modernist period to explore a tradition of women's writing. Women's writing came to exist as a separate category of scholars. So friends, this is all about my today's topic. I hope you will like my content, and if you like it, please hit the like button, share and subscribe my channel. And if you're new to my channel, please hit the bell button so that you can get notifications from my upcoming videos. Thanks a lot for watching.